Didn't know she was doing this till today. So, they're nursing students and they're going to do a presentation today. So let's all give them respect and listen to what they got to say, and we'll go from there.
On the tables, there's just a little form, if you would mind just taking a quick little assessment.
You don't have to put your name or anything on it.
It's required that we do a before and then an after assessment, just for fun.
And you got to fill one out because this is part of what they're doing for you guys, okay? Again, you don't need a name or anything.
And feel free to get up and grab snacks, whatever, while we're talking.
This is very informal.
I'm bad enough. I don't want to eat for nurses.
What y'all cook on?
Some nachos.
Sounds good.
Put in it.
Sweet. I could smell them in the office.
And when you're done, just flip them over, put them at the edge of the table, and I'll come over and grab them.
I think this is all. As we told you, Amy, Krista, we're ICC nursing students. And then in just a second here why we started this video.
Okay, what's going on there?
I'd like to order a pizza for delivery.
Have you reached 911? This is an emergency line.
Large with half pepperoni, half mushroom.
You know you called 911. This is an emergency line.
How long it'll be?
Okay, ma'am, is everything okay over there? Do you have an emergency or not?
Yes.
And you're unable to talk because?
Right.
Is there someone in the room with you? Just say yes or no.
Yes.
Okay, it looks like I have an officer about a mile from your location. Are there any weapons in your house?
No.
Can you stay on the phone with me?
No. See you soon. Thank you.
So every 20 minutes, each day, about 20 people are victims of domestic violence. Those are huge numbers. Violence between two people in an intimate relationship currently accounts for 15% of violent crime here in the U.S. We started this project about 2 years ago in working with the community on the Healthy People Government 2020 initiative. One of the leading indicators that the government would like to see improved by the year 2020 is a reduction in violent crimes between intimate partners. And they know they've got their work cut out for them, and we just wanted to increase the awareness. We know that we're definitely in a place where the awareness is heavy, but we just wanted to do this topic. Just
what's the, around 20 people, what's your reference?
It is the National Coalition of Domestic Violence.
No, I'm saying out of, how many people? If you take 100 people, is that 20 of those people that happens to every 20 minutes? Or is that 1,000 people that happens to every 20 minutes?
It's just every 20 minutes.
I know what that's saying, but there's also.
They're talking about it's statistics for the whole United States.
So you're talking everybody that lives in the whole United States, that's all that happens?
So it'd be like every 20
I mean,
minutes.
every 20
people.
minutes, 20 people is still a lot of people. And
I'm sure that it's
one borough.
I'm
New York.
sure that it's
You
probably
think that'd be
much,
just one
much.
You think that's in Peoria?
Yeah, I'm sure that it is much, much higher than,
It's
I mean,
way
we know
higher.
that with any statistics,
That
you
right
only
there
are
can
going to
happen.
be able to account for
Right.
what's reported.
I just was curious
Yeah.
as to what number you're you got
Absolutely.
on the point.
Yeah.
As to, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. And we realize, I mean, just like with any statistics,
Right.
it's gonna be reportable, and we know that it's largely unreported. You know, most of the time, for whatever the reason, there's only so much that's actually reported, and I'm sure that the statistics are much, much higher than that.
All right. Early warning signs that you are with a person who may abuse you. I'm sure a lot of us have seen this. They tease you, they get jealous of your friends, your family, even your coworkers. They don't want you to have a job. They don't want you to keep your money. They don't like when you wear makeup. They want you to dress more modestly. I mean, if you put on chapstick, who are you going to see? And they always want to check up on you, keep an eye on you, blame you for the reason they're in a bad mood. A lot of them, I mean, not all, drink or do drugs. Punching walls, kicking things, driving recklessly to scare you on purpose. They threaten to kill themselves if you ever leave them, or threaten to kill you. They keep you from having a job. They are angry easily. They accuse you of cheating. That's definitely a big one. They read your emails, go through your phone, go through all of your things. And then, especially around your friends, they act like the perfect partner. And then when you're not with them, it's totally different.
And there's the obvious emotional scars that are definitely things that you can't see, but are sometimes the most hurtful part of being in a relationship where there's violence. On average, according to the National Coalition of Domestic Violence, on average you will leave 7 times before you actually leave permanently. So we just wanted to highlight some of the signs that your abuser likely is not going to change. Often your partner will minimize the abuse. They may even blame you for the abuse, telling you that it's your fault. If you only just didn't do this, then they wouldn't have to act the way that they do. They minimize and blame. They might even claim that you're the one that's abusive. That they have to do that because you do this or that. You're abusive to them. You cut them down, when in all honesty, it's not that way. Your partner may insist that you owe them a second chance. If you're the only one that can be there, if you're there, then they can change. They may even insist that you attend counseling, those statistics have found that most of the time, even if you start counseling, they're not gonna wanna attend after. It's more of a for show thing, it's more of a come back, we'll get things right. Not that counseling doesn't work for some, but statistics say that oftentimes the abuser is the one that initiates and then is the first one to back out of the counseling. They also are gonna, someone who tries to constantly get sympathy from you, your children, your family, friends, others outside the relationship. Oftentimes that act of trying to get sympathy for what they're doing is a sign saying that they're not accepting of their fault in the matter. If they're trying to get sympathy, then they're portraying their actions still as somebody else's fault.
There are many reasons that we have all chosen to stay with these people. Well, you think they'll change? I mean, we honestly love that person for some reason, and we don't want to just abandon the relationship. We really believe they're gonna change this time. They're not gonna do it again like they promised. They may make you feel responsible for the abuse, like what she was saying earlier, you know, you caused this. If you didn't come home from work an hour late, I never would have hit you. Or, I mean, they feel helpless and trapped in that relationship. They're scared to leave. They're afraid that if they try to leave, their abuser will come after them, stalk them, hurt them, even try to kill them. They have children. They don't want to take the children away from their mother, father, whoever the abuser is. And if they do try to take the children away, then, you know, sometimes they have nowhere to go. You know, they feel they have to stay there because that's where they're being taken care of. And if they don't have a job, you know, they won't be able to afford living on their own. I mean, if it was to the point where the abuser did not let them go back to school or have a job, then, you know, they would have a lot of skills lacking. They may not be able to find a job. There's a lot of information that people don't know is out there for them. So if you want to leave or you're trying to leave, they don't realize how much help that there is to get. And I mean, that's one of the main points that why we're here is, I mean, you obviously all have used great resources, but we want to kind of, you know, make it more known and emphasize it, and just hopefully people will start to speak up about this type of thing.
Because like we just said, statistics say that many will leave 7 times before they leave for good. We want to emphasize also being prepared. If you do end up in a relationship again for an emergency, recognizing and knowing your abuser's red flags is always helpful, not always preventable, but identifying safe areas of your home, especially if there's children involved, letting the kids know where's a safe places that they can go. Coming up with code words, if there are people that you're able to be in contact with when you're in a situation like that commercial that was aired during the Super Bowl this year. She used the pizza with the 911 person, maybe having a code word with a neighbor to let them know that you're in a situation where you need help. Being prepared to leave at a moment's notice. I don't know any of your personal situations, but I'm sure that you understand that you have to be prepared to leave quickly, safely, and when you can get out.
And some of the things with the code words, I've heard stories of people opening their bedroom blinds like a certain way, so when the neighbor sees that, they know, oh, something's not right over there, so they know to come over and check or call the police. Something else I was gonna say. Oh, with the red flags, like, do you have an example of what that might be? Like a certain person, they just have a look, or a tone, or the way that the way that they say something. I mean, that could be your time oh no, he's in a bad mood, something's gonna happen, break open those blinds, you know. So I mean, you know, it's good to kind of pay attention and get to know what's gonna happen. That way you can, I mean, it doesn't always work, of course, but.
You obviously all know
But
that
at
there
least you
is
can
some
maybe
support
try it.
available because you're all in probably the best location. In doing my research, I don't know that I found much more in this area other than the center. But there is also this 24-hour number that's available for domestic violence calls, helping, talking. And we found this online. I don't know if it'll help any of you, but we went ahead and had it made into pocket size and had it laminated. It lists some of the important things that you would want to maybe consider. Obviously, fast and safe is the most important. But if you do have time, this would just be something that you could have to reference some of the things you might want to think about if you did need to get out and plan. I know that sometimes planning is not an option, but sometimes it helps. I know in any situation, if I'm frazzled and in a hurry, I don't think. So it's hard to, so it's just kind of something that you guys could have on hand if you
Just
did
look
ever
over,
need
maybe
that.
memorize like 3 key points. You know, I mean, the biggest thing here is safety for, you know, you guys, everybody, I mean, all of us. You know, you never know when you're gonna come in contact with an abusive person or somebody who's gonna hurt you. And even if it's, I mean, a stranger on the street and they come up to you, I mean, you know, having, like, anything here can help you. You know, you have your car keys with the loud alarm on it, or, you know, one of those buttons you can wear and push if you're out in public somewhere. Because I mean, I'm sure you all know and have maybe even seen people get aggressive in the middle of a grocery store. You know, some people just don't care. They take it to that level anywhere they're at, and it's good to just make sure that you're safe. You know, you gotta think about yourself. Because if you don't, I mean, who will?
Safety is key, and you're definitely not alone in your situation.
Any questions?
Sorry, these technologies are great ones.
It's really difficult to say the person I chose to be with, the person I chose to father my children, the one that I love the most is the one harming me this way. My boyfriend abused me during my pregnancy of my first son. Your self-esteem is being chipped away, your financial freedom is being chipped away. I remember I spent $7.39 on sandwiches for my children for dinner, and because I spent that money, physical assault was waiting for me when I got home. My boys were 3.5 and 5 when I left. What I really want my boys to know is that I'm really sorry that this had to be their life and that this is what they got to experience. Then I met my neighbor. We began dating. We had just bought a new house. We had just gotten pregnant. The abuse started. It was terrifying. It's happening all over again. I spent so long trying to repair myself and repair my children. I had nothing. I had absolutely nothing. I wasn't working. I had gone through every ounce of my savings. I was immediately back to that place, feeling like maybe this is what my life is supposed to be. That why is it happening again to me? Why is it happening to my children? And I couldn't live with myself if they grew up and abused women as adult men. So that's why I left. When you're living in abuse, planning and goal setting is so foreign to your life. You need to get through today. You can't think about what's happening tomorrow, let alone 3 years from now, 5 years from now, what's in your 401k. So that was my big step, was saying, okay, this is my plan. This is what I need to do to finally feel some empowerment in my life. My name is Genesee Valpentesta, and I'm a survivor.
We wanted to end by showing that clip just to focus on the fact that it's always nice to see somebody that has achieved what you're working towards. We know both of us going through school, when you go through the hardest times, you want to look at the fact that somebody has accomplished this. It's always nice to see and hear. I think that what I took away from listening to Janessa's story is that, you know, just, you gotta take this day by day. You know, you're going through a very tough transition point in all of your lives, and just setting small goals for yourself, focusing on yourself and your day-to-day needs, and just celebrating each little milestone, and knowing that you guys aren't alone. Lean on each other for support. Look at the short term instead of the long term,
And also remember that it's not your fault.
that's all we've got for you, unless you have any questions.
But
Can I take
but
you
I
out of
kind of
post
feel it,
assessment?
I mean, the way she was, how it is, well, how it was.
Sure.
Yeah, I can relate to her
Definitely.
in a lot of ways. Yeah.
So what I handed out is just a post-assessment.
Yeah, it's the
It's the exact same thing as the pre-assessment. You check to see if any answers have changed, learned anything new. You can write any comments if you'd like. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. If not, that wraps up our presentation. We appreciate you coming and listening to us. I hope that some things that we said maybe inspired you or made a difference.